everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Good afternoon, Florian, Stephanie. Welcome to this podcast, another LinkedIn Live on a topic that we were waiting so long to talk about. We thought before the summer, during the summer, now finally at the end of the summer, we found the time to merge all the calendars in this moment of sharing, all of our latest insights. And I think it's good that we waited this long because we accumulated even more strategies around what it means to be a C-level as a service executive and how can we share these learnings with our followers. So once again, thank you. So let me introduce them. First, Stephanie, whom I know for quite some time now, and I've seen her transition her career from a C-level executive to a C-level as a service professional. And she'll tell you more about this. She's the founder of Winsights. She's a finance professional, has worked in consulting many years. She has navigated many different industries and complexities in business, helping CEOs, CFOs gain transparency in their processes. And we have also Florian. So thank you for being here today, Florian, who helps business leaders accelerate their growth, generate more leads, achieve a more consistent and sustainable business model. And he will also tell you a little bit more about the value that he brings to businesses and business leaders and founders like Stephanie and like myself. So we work together on this initiative today to bring to you this innovative concept that we call C-level as a service or class. So without further ado, let me share some of our I'm going to share my screen with you all here. Let's start from the first. Yes. Go back. This is the last one, but let me just position this at the start here. There you go. The future of work, C-level as a service. I want you to remember this word, so I keep repeating it. I'm going to introduce perhaps the what we have decided today to share with you. There's so much on the topic, but we can't touch upon all the different elements. But we will give you some definitions, some examples, some structure, and so that you understand the basics, the fundamentals, and you will see some concrete examples of that. So it will be very helpful indeed to implement some of these learnings. Perhaps we can start with the icebreaker here. If you want to introduce yourself briefly, Florian and Stephanie, should I just share here your background? So perhaps Florian, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Rebecca. Hello, everyone. My name is Florian Nègre, and I'm a consultant. I'm an ex-chief revenue officer, and I help entrepreneurs and business to simplify their process and generate qualified lead. And I do that with a system that connects data and automates sales. So in a brief introduction of myself, I have extensive experience of building startups and spin-offs and bringing business models and services to the market. So this is the methodology resulting from this experience that allows me to help C-level in transition or bring any services on the market. And that's pretty much what defines me and for what we're doing today. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie, maybe I should let you present yourself without sharing the slide. Do you want to go ahead and you will also talk more about Winsights later, and that will be
I mean, I can give a few words. Obviously, long experience with FITS, both in information systems and processes and finance functions, and basically came up at the point in my career I wanted to be entrepreneur or starting something, being a freelance and leveraging on my values. So I will tell you later the path I went through, first with Rebecca and then later with Florian. to end up creating Winsights, my own little company, but growing surely.
Awesome.
Yeah, since a few months already active, and I will tell you, with customers straight from the beginning. So then, yeah, that's me.
Okay, super. Okay, well, I guess I introduced myself as well for those who haven't heard. So I'm Rebecca, and I work with founders who are transitioning from being an employee to perhaps being an employer eventually. So some of this happened when I was working with Stephanie. It wasn't clear in the beginning. I think it's not something that people are very clear about in the beginning of their journey when they're in a career transition. But as we evolved with her and with other clients, we discovered, wait a minute, why can't I position myself as a product as well, just as much as I can add value as an employee for a period of time that is undetermined and long, and perhaps the contractual complexities that come with hiring a C-level person. I mean, it can be daunting. So why don't we just rent C-level people? So we started to create those models, positioning people through their skills, the value, the the knowledge, the competencies that they bring to the market, and focusing on the solutions that they can bring to businesses, rather than, oh, this is where I work, this is where I studied, and these are the languages I speak. So it's much more we focus heavily on the value that you bring, and everything that we build, cascades from there. So I'm the founder of Talent Factories. This is one of the products that we have, but essentially we help people transition their careers, and make sense of their changes in a proactive way, right? So let's just talk a little bit about the insights that we have about the market today. I observe it to be changing dramatically. Even before COVID, it was the case, but especially after COVID, where, like I said, it's more of a skill-based drive or demand. It's not so much about, okay, where did you study, where did you work, but it's more about, have you been able to take them from round A to round B, or have you been able to expand in this market or pierce this bubble in terms of the go-to-market strategies? Have you been successful in organic growth, artificial growth, maybe through mergers and acquisitions? Have you been, driving revenue or perhaps optimizing it? And so just a few numbers to anchor this here. We know that 3.6% of annual project growth comes from independent workers. Whether you call them freelancers, consultants, C-level as a service, they are essentially attached to the company as vendors, but they don't have, they have a bit more freedom. They have control of their calendar. It's usually a project-based engagement. 30% of this population, both in the US and also in Europe, we see that, I mean, it's a big chunk. It's 1/3 of the working force that is taking on those kind of engagements. So this is something we need to pay attention to. It's a paradigm shift that we can't ignore, and I think we need to bring some attention to this. It's becoming more and more in demand, at least in my line of business. 25% of businesses, of whether it's a scale up, a startup, or a solid business, will engage in have relationships with those types of vendors. 82% report of these workers. So that's a big amount. 82% have reported feeling happier as a result of this change in lifestyle, because, like I said, you become the master of your calendar. Yes, maybe you engage in many projects and you have to be highly organized, and you have to set yourself up as an independent, but you also so 69% say that they have a better health as a result. Maybe because of the fact that they can better integrate their work life together. I don't really believe in work life balance. I'm all about work life integration, and I think this work this lifestyle is possible when you shift into this new paradigm. And 53% of people say they feel more secure because you don't get fired from your own business. You just have to keep finding new clients, right? So you have more control over your career, and it's a very strategic, future-proofed methodology. So I think it's fair to say that you can stand out from the crowd with this system, with this new, methodology, or it's a new way of designing your career by making yourself the center of it. You are the greatest asset. You are the product that we're selling. I let you take over, Florian, from here, because I think you have a few insights to share on how to change,
Yeah,
how to
thank you,
turn this
Rebecca.
tide.
Thank you very much. So yeah, definitely this section will cover fundamental aspects of your transition, which is actually your mindset. So if you can go through the next slide, Rebecca, please.
Yes.
What I would like you what I would like to show you actually today is that your mindset is fundamental here, because in your transition it will be the foundation of your success. And I see it in many of my clients when I want to change and bring them, come from an employee career to independent entrepreneur or consultant career. The mindset is fundamental, because without a clear mindset in mind, they won't go anywhere. Basically, the trigger is first a psychological trigger that anyone should have at first before even starting with anyone else. So this is fundamental, and because whether you step out of your comfort zone, that could be voluntarily or not, you need to adopt it and super quickly. Otherwise, you will be stuck. You will be stuck for a few reasons, but two main reasons are the fear of doing, which is something that most of us have known or still know sometimes, and the second one is the fear of isolation. Which is actually a real pain when you want to start a business, want to start an independent activity. So those two are powerful breaks, but you have to know them, and you have to know how to overcome them, because it will make the difference. So if you can break them, I can guarantee you that you have done the very first and most important steps in your process. So basically, the best way to achieve it and to break these breaks is to be proactive. And by doing it, you won't have fear of doing, because you're already doing it. It sounds simple and basic, but it's actually the way it works. And by doing, also you realize that you will go to others, and you will break this isolation. So being proactive is how you will ignite the change you want to see, and that's actually fundamental. So the mindset here is what we call a growth mindset, and it's the next slide we are going to cover. The growth mindset. It's something very common in the startups industry where I'm from, where I come from. It's very trendy, but it's still real, because you need to adapt your mindset, but also the way you work, so your methodology. So basically, you can start from thinking, I won't do it, I'm not able to, or I'm so close to taking off, but it's so hard, or whatever. But you need to change to I'm close to, right? So you have to, you can do it, and this brings you to the next level, because you need to, with this growth mindset, implement a methodology. So this methodology, which is very related to the growth mindset, it's a growth methodology that's very used in startups. Is based on 4 steps, basically, if I want to synthesize it. So the first one is make hypothesis. So you make hypothesis. You can have like a lot of ideas, a lot of good or bad ideas, it doesn't matter, but you need to make them. So make hypothesis, and then you need to validate them once the business is launched, or even before. but the business, once it's launched, will be the best, will bring you the best answers to this hypothesis. So you will confirm the hypothesis, or it will tell you that this hypothesis at least is not, it was not a good one, and you can abandon it. So basically, it all obligates you to prioritize your task, prioritize your goals. And once you're doing it, once again, you have to adopt a doer mindset. Once you're doing it, you realize that the answers are coming from the market itself. So this is the second step, how to validate them. It's the test and learn. So basically, once you bring your hypothesis to the market, you have to test them. And you test them, meaning you have to have answers, but real answers, not the fake answers that you can have, or the feelings you have. So feelings are great, but you need to validate them. Otherwise, they are still based only on yourself and not on the market, not on the customer. And you want to be market-centric and customer-centric. So the methodology called test and learn is when you have an idea, you need to test it to validate or not, and to keep going or not, right? So if it's a failure, whether it's a failure or a success, you will learn from that, okay? So the third step is how you test and learn. So basically, we come back to the notion of doing, the notion of being a doer, because you need to implement them, and you need to implement them on an iterative process. Because once you made it, you need to do it again and again and again. Why? Because the market is changing, your customer is changing, everything is evolving and very fast. So you need to have an iterative approach. You need to do it very iteratively. So that's why the point number 4 is do it again. Because once you've done it, it doesn't mean it's done forever. You have to do it again, to test again. The market will change in 2, 3, 6, 1 month, 1 year, and you need to make other hypotheses based on the situation. And hypothesis as of now won't be the same as of a few months, year away. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you. This briefly this methodology based on the growth mindset that you want to adopt, and because it's fundamental, because at least you dominate one thing which is key, and this methodology will be adopted, can be adopted to any skills that you have. So that's why on the next slide, and when we are talking about transition, I always mention that we need to capitalize on your skills. So the methodology is pretty much the same. You need to adopt it, but it doesn't matter your skills, because your key asset here is your skills, right? So that's why here we ask the question: why should you convert at all costs when you can capitalize on your skills, right? So that's why we were talking about transition. So many see the transition as a radical change, but in reality, it's based on what you do best in your career. So basically, your skills. So if mindset is the foundation, as I said, your skills will be the first layer of your success, all right? And the methodology will be the structure. So why starting from scratch? You don't have to, really. You can capitalize on your skills, start on what you already have and know. So you capitalize on what you dominate, and that will be the foundation of your value proposition. And here, the value proposition is actually something also very key as a first step on the go-to-market process, because it will define your services, your products, but many other things will also be part of that, like such as the pricing, your targets, your customers, and so on. I won't go too much into detail of the go-to-market, but your value proposition here will be fundamental for the following steps.
Okay, thank you. So I'll let you introduce us to the 101. We are
so basically what I've built with Rebecca is C-level as a service, and 101 can't cover, obviously, in the time we have today, all the aspects, but we can briefly present it and also its benefits. So if you like, Rebecca, I'll let you introduce the benefit, and then I will go for the service, and then I will go for the benefits.
Thank you so much, Florian. So one of the things we need to focus on when we're building this brand, this product that you are going to now market in the shelf of talents, is to understand what's really unique about you. It takes time, because sometimes we get caught in the tools, like M&A is a tool, but you're looking for growth. So growth is the goal. So translating to the market, what is it that you can bring in terms of unique value is a tough one. But think about what obsesses you. Like what do you focus on at work? So yesterday I was talking with a guy from manufacturing, and he was telling me, all I do at work is I'm trying to automate process. I'm going for the maximization of production. I want to have sustainable profitability, and that's it. So we came up with, okay, this is about process automation, production maximization, sustainable profitability. Everything else flows from these like core beliefs or core this is the contribution that you make to companies, to society. And now let's talk about the tools, let's talk about the how, and everything else kind of flows from this. It's hard to pinpoint it, and it's necessary to do it with someone who understands your profile. So do engage with professionals to determine that. A response with agility. Well, we want to be trendy. We want to be aligned with what the market is doing today. So you have to be aware of where your focus should be, right? I mean, if you're in supply chain, be aware of the trends that are around sustainability. If you are in manufacturing, okay, what is it that you can do in terms of to talk about automation and process optimization, optimizations will yeah. So you have to understand where you're sitting in terms of the industry trends that you have to be aware of. And then there's this blended methodology that we have between talent management, because we're going to manage your brand, you as a professional, but not just as a senior executive that has a successful career and has been serving different businesses and different industries, more as a focus on what you can bring in terms of value to your future clients. So this is a bit of a commercial positioning as well. So it's a difficult balance to achieve, but once you have been able to communicate it, we brand it with you, and then we Florian would be the right person to help you take this to market and generate leads that will need the skills that you have. Perhaps you want to share with us this, Florian, if you take over from here, right?
Sure. Yeah, I can conclude what you were saying, because it's very important and very interesting as well. Actually, the positioning is quite clear. It sounds simple, but it's every time very difficult to make it simple, right? But the key idea here is to brand yourself as a product or a service, and I think it's what Rebecca wanted to mean. And that's the very start of your go-to-market. By go-to-market, I don't know if we were clear here, but it's how we commercialize, how we sell your product and services and bring it to the market. In order to find a market fit, which means finding the perfect niche or the perfect market for you with the perfect customers. So there is different techniques and methodology we should apply here. But we have a slide where we can go a bit deeper on that, or take any question on this topic later on the chat, on the Q&A. But if you like, I can go a bit deeper briefly on the benefits of being independent or consultant, depending on your objectives in your career. But if you want to base your career on a skill-based business, the studies show that they fall into 4 big categories. The first one is the income, the second one is freedom, the third one independence, and the fourth one is sustainability. So if we explore each one by one, income, and these numbers are from studies really, it's proved that you can make 2 to 5 more income when you are consultant versus when you are employed. Also give you entrepreneurial freedom, and that helps a lot to be to have a well-being that is way different, because being his own boss, let's say, of course it's challenging sometimes, but it brings you like pride, it brings you many other things that doesn't bring you an employee life. And also it brings you the sense of accomplishments and the value, and so it gives a sense. And that's why we talk about work independence. Basically, it gives a sense to your action, to your work, to your missions. and that brings a lot of satisfaction. So in the end, you know why you're working for, basically for yourself, also for your clients, but all together mean that you find a sense in your work. And in the end, sustainability and future-proofed, we prepare C-level executives to face the challenging market, which is moving very fast. We mentioned it a bit earlier about sustainability. We are actually driving by the trends. We are driving by the numbers Rebecca showed you at the beginning, where it shows you that there is an acceleration of hiring consultants or external resources and talents for many companies and for many reasons. So basically, the future of the market actually, I mean, the future. We are already in the future, right? Because it's already taking place. But we are already in this trend where the market will go and accelerate with this need of consultants. So that's why we plan the future, and we our forecast for the future is that this trend will not decelerate, but on the contrary, will accelerate. So that was four benefits that we have identified, and we going to share with you today. But we can go, I think, Rebecca, more in details about what probably interests the most, the branding of products and services. So if you like, I'd like to start with the first step, and then I will end with the two final ones.
Yeah, we work in partnership because it's very complementary. Our work, me and Florian, so essentially, I will help you communicate your brand, whether it's on paper or in meetings or interviews. In the beginning, it's not so easy to transition from being a bit passive in your strategy to being the driver of it, to really deciding and defining your brand. And once that's done, communicating it with your profiles, with your CVs, with your cover letters, with your pitch decks, all of this would be done for you, and you would have that support throughout this redesign, new version of you. So in the personal branding and career planning phases with me, and then Florian would take over from there and tell us.
Exactly. Once the personal branding is done, is over. Once you all set and you know what you are ready for, then we have to design a go-to-market strategy, which is actually the strong basis of your commercial positioning this time. Not the personal branding, but the commercial positioning. How we make yourself a product and service. How we sell yourself in the market. How we position your skills and to woo. So basically, that's the foundation of the go-to-market strategy. So first, market your services, and second, establish a solid action plan. So this action plan actually is not only strategic; it's also actionable, and it's very important because you need to take action. Once again, we are in the doing, not only in the waiting or I don't know how to say that, but you want to take action. Really, that's how the difference is done, and it's part of the execution. So execution is key. Because there's no good idea without a good execution. So it's a mantra, very famous in the startup industry, but it can be more real. I can tell you. So how do you execute that? We set up a system, which is a lead generation system, but which is also automated. Why? Because you need to be the more productive you can. So here your objective is to unleash your potential with that systems. That benefits you in terms of productivity, as I said, by connecting your data and automating your sales. So basically here, if you are a consultant or even an entrepreneur, at first you will start kind of alone, not so much of them, or if you guys have a team to start a business. So you need to focus on what matters and prioritize. So if you can avoid to have all the boring tasks or the administrative tasks about sales generation or of sales, like lead generation, then you should automate it. So basically, it helps you a lot to save your time and to focus on your clients, on your qualified leads, on your services that you have to deliver, and this makes you a better consultant. So on this part about lead generation, first is build your system, and second one is prospect your lead. So prospecting your leads means segmentation, and this we can do it only because we did the right go-to-market action plan. You need to address basically the right message to the right people at the right time on the right channels, and this you don't know it if you don't do a good go-to-market action plan. So to summarize, you have to simplify your process, and second one, you have to generate qualified leads, and all of this we can do it once everything is all set up. And yeah, and so that's why we were innovative, because first we have a very good combination of talents, Rebecca and I, and the junction of Rebecca's skills and mine not only allows our clients, level executives, to theorize the change, because they want to see a lot of change in life, but also they want to, but also to achieve it in practice. So basically, the professional career move. First, we theorized it, but also we implemented it and we executed it. So to conclude, once again, the goal is not to change the skills you already dominate. It's just to make it as a brand, to position it and to sell it. So don't change the skills you dominate. Just change how you sell them, how you do your work as an independent. So I think I will hand on this and I will let the microphone to Stephanie, which is a great example of what we did, Rebecca and I. So Steph, if you like.
Yes.
Yes, this is the proof in the pudding. Steph, thank you so much for being here. She is the proof that this system actually works to our own surprise sometimes. Oh my God, this is taking off. So tell us about your success, Stephanie, please.
Yes, I think I can quickly go through this one, and then probably I was thinking it's good to go back to your nice scheme with all these colors,
Okay.
because then we will see the whole path I've been through,
Yeah.
and I can relate on that. But yeah, in short, after this number of years, and I'm not gonna say how many, but more than 20 for sure, I became obviously with all my skills and experiences, I came at a point in my life where I wanted to, rethink how to go to work. May not be necessary something like going back to an office every morning, leaving at 6 in the afternoon. And I wanted to really find out what else I could do, bringing my own skills, but coming with that perspective, like I will bring my value. What is your issue? I bring my value. I help close your gaps or achieve your project in a project mode, and then we can move on. And obviously, at levels that we can call C levels. So I think that's me. Obviously, specialized in finance and ERP transformation services now. So very much with some fit in technologies area. So I founded the Winsight, and I think we can go back to this scheme that you showed before, because I think that will allow me to tell you my story through these steps. So basically, after let's be honest and transparent, like many of us, reaching very soon 50. Sometimes the nice companies we work for just dump us like that from one day to another. That happens, and that still happens, and it's happening more and more, if I understand. So, but I mean, from there, you don't want to sit on your ass and cry. We're big boys and big girls, right? Seasoned enough. So what? At this stage, I thought, okay, let's find a way. Let's get some help, clarify what I can do with all I've done, and I must be able to help somebody, help a company achieve the strategy, define a strategy. So step one, let's go and talk to Rebecca. And that's what I did. And that was in a short period of time, because I think it was only a few months. We clarified at least, okay, what am I good at? What can I bring? What is my personality? What is the type of environment I want, and what are the people I want to work with, etc. So that was really finding out this career positioning, which industry, which type of skills, etc. So then we obviously needed to work on the personal branding. So that's how you end up talking with Rebecca about the color of your jacket you want to take in your picture for your CV. But that's part of the journey, and that's the funny part of it. So you learn things on that, and then it's like a new birth. You show yourself with new colors, and you go for it. And obviously, everything else that comes together, which is the CV, the LinkedIn, and everything, you align that. And at this stage, obviously, you're ready to go. Have a more or less clear idea. So you can confront that with other groups, which is also something that was allowed working with Rebecca, is to meet other, in my case, women, and that was also very inspiring. And then next step is, okay, I'm ready, but I need to network, right? I need to know who I talk to tell the world, here I am, the new Stephanie, I want to go that way, I can offer this and that. So Rebecca was also very helpful in learning how to network, because in our past, in our years of experience in companies, okay, we know our colleagues, the VPs and this and that, but we may not, apart from when we belong to groups, we may not know the world, right? And there's always so many people we can get in touch with. So that's another part I worked on with her. And then, well, I was ready, but then I was like, okay, I'm more or less clear about my skills. I know how I want to work. I know what's my top value proposition, but I don't really know how I'm gonna sell that. And I want to sell it as a freelancer or as a consultant. And I want to work at the C-level. I don't want to go on working as a small junior consultant somewhere when I'm nearly reaching 50, you know. So then I managed to meet Florian. That's how the transition happened. And then I said to him, look, this is me. I want to be independent. This is my value. I think I can do something in that area, but how do I go? So we started working on a business plan, let's say. Can call it like this, strategy. What is my model? What is the revenue model I want to build? How is it going to be viable? How do I make a difference on the market? And how do I show that? So again, a little bit of branding, website, service proposition, but also things were very interested. I went through with Florian is like, okay, who am I going to talk to? What is what we call my buyer persona? Or who are they? Is it my IT, head of IT? Is it my CIO? Is it my CFO? Who do I want to work with to explain what I can help, how I can help them, and what can I bring to help them achieve their objectives and their projects in a relatively short time frame, right? Because one of the aspects that we propose being a C-level as a service is that you come with a high value to help quickly turn around things that where people need to reach decent objectives or high objectives. So, and I think that's one of the important aspects in there is that we come with experience, structured approach, but also flexibility. And that might be something that companies are looking for today, because obviously when they look for hiring someone who is C-level, it's like, okay, you bring that, but you also want lots of money for sure. Mm-hmm. But okay, maybe we have short-term projects like a few years transformation, but what else afterwards? Maybe we sell our company and this and that. So then we may not need you as a C-level forever. But in that case, for you, it's like, okay, I take the mission for 2 years, 3 years, and then I'll be turning to something else. So it's a mindset, like you said, Florian, which is to be working in a project mode, let's say. And you offer, as part of your offer, you have your flexibility also, that you're not like desperate to have a job forever in the same company up until the moment you retire. It's more, okay, I bring my experience as a service, meaning this is my value, this is what I commit to bring you on the result, and this is going to happen maybe on 6 months or on 1 year or 2 years, and then we are all happy, and I'm still independent and I can go ahead. So that's I mean, at least that was my journey. It's not finished. It just started a few months ago.
Yeah, tell us the achievements. I mean, they're incredible.
Yeah. So the good thing is, obviously, I'm the type of girl to be willing to go very fast. So I kind of pressured Florian very much and told him, look, in 2 months' time, I want the website to be online and, and I want to work straight ahead. So yeah, in first months of go-to-market, managed to have 2 clients at the same time, which makes you realize that maybe indeed you get tired quickly.
Yeah.
But at least you're very busy, and that's very, very interesting. So I can only say that, and then from the moment I started to look at my career and stop crying after being dumped, it took 3 months only to really get up and running, creating my structure. And that's true that today, that made me that is bringing me much more happiness to work in that mode, and then it's giving me so much opportunities to meet different people. And the funny thing is, you kind of let go of a different model that is probably more heavy, and by doing so, opportunities show up at the door without really working so hard finally on the leads. But I have to say, still, things don't happen magically. Florian is still helping me very much, co-piloting on the sales side, like he mentioned before, with automation, but also with generating campaigns and so on. And that is something I don't have time to take care of, since I started immediately with 2 clients. So obviously, it's a sort of partnerships that you can keep on building and progressing with while you're a standalone person having already a full-time agenda. So I think that's my story. We should leave it there. I would like that we leave some time to people to ask questions. I think it's important.
Yes, but thank you so much, Stephanie. And no, I wanted to just highlight the fact that these are institutional clients, because it's not easy. B2B takes time. I have only managed to get as far as B2C for what I do, but so I admire, and I remember when you came over and you said, "Oh, I had this interview." I thought first it was not going to go well, and I think this was the point of the turning point for you. And but then they told me what the problem was, and I said, "Well, maybe I can help you as a vendor and not necessarily as an employee. Maybe you just tell me how much budget you have for this, how much time you have to get this sorted." I think it was an ERP transition they were trying to implement, and I'll put together the resources to provide a solution. Let me make your proposal. And this was like a very interesting workaround in terms of outcome for an interview. I thought it was cool how you spinned it, and I think it came out of there.
Yeah, one good thing, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I
don't
think
know if there are questions from people.
Yes, so I'm trying to let's see, hold on. No, not yet, but maybe we wait a little bit to give them time to type it in. I'm just looking here.
Yeah, I think it's important to realize that obviously the approach is not like what we used to do, which is, okay, let me apply or get a headhunter sending my CV, or it's more an active participation of for ourselves on finding the missions, actually. And not, it's a different mindset, really. Instead of looking for a full-time job for forever, it's more, okay, dynamic approach where we offer our value, our skills, make a package, make a proposal, engage on results, and bring the flexibility also. And then somewhere it has a cost for the company, but at the same time it's a project. It's a budget for a project.
Yeah.
And not employing a resource that you really don't know in the end if you're gonna keep that resource on board or not. What happens when there is a split of the company, it's sold, whatever. So I think it's value for all parties, I think, in this approach.
Tell me if I'm wrong, Steph, but I also saw you evolving a lot and learning a lot during the few months on topics that you didn't know. I mean, you knew, but you were not like an expert. And now what I'm hearing you talking about buyer persona, value proposition, EO, customer profile, and everything. I feel that on the go and doing it yourself with Rebecca and I, you have learned a lot, and actually you have not only upgraded your skills, but you have learned new skills. So
exactly. Yeah.
Can you share a bit about it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, one part of the exercise is to know ourselves, which at some point we know ourselves, I think, a little bit, especially when we worked with Rebecca before. But then the next point is, okay, I know I can bring the value, but where and what? And I think that's how, for me, I've learned a lot on that. Is to how do you identify the guy you're going to talk to offer your services? Who is it? What position does he have in the company? or the target companies that you want to approach. And I think actually with Florian was a funny part because one part of the exercise is to put the head of the buyer persona on the definition of that person. And it's so funny because in the end you put a head, okay, for example, myself, it was about finding who is a head of IT, but okay, we took the head of one of them. And now we could say now when I'm preparing to approach or making an email or this and that, I have the picture of that buyer persona, and that makes it real. So what's a funny part of it? But yeah, indeed, for me, I learned a lot on this. Who to talk to, and then what are their pain points that we want also to help them tackle. Actually, so what is their what keeps them awake at night, and where can we come up with solutions or approach them, showing immediately the value that we're going to bring to help them close the gaps in their projects, or have different ideas of approaching, for example, process optimization, or avoid the pitfalls in projects like ERP migrations or transformations. So I think for me that's and I'm still learning. I can tell you, even about myself actually, because you also learn about in this. Okay, it's got challenges to be independent. Let's be honest, but you also learn to respect yourself somewhere when you come in difficult situations, that you have your line, your red line that you don't want to get over anymore, and you stick to it. So you learn how you can finally keep control on your career this way, and that is also something very enjoyable, being an independent. The obviously the challenge is to make sure that you have your business running, and that you foresee what comes next. But I think when you're very at ease with what you're doing, very aligned, like I said, opportunities come at your door without really fighting too much, and that's the beauty of being aligned between oneself and the market we want to tackle.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Steph.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to conclude. Well, I just want to thank everybody for being here today. Stephanie, Florian, and here we have also, you can reach out to us. We prepared a little form that you can fill out if you're reaching out for help. If you don't know where to start, well, start here with scanning the QR code and taking the time to ask for support. And I think, one of the things that people sometimes fear, oh my God, if I go in this direction, will I ever be able to go back into the corporate ladder? I think you will, and you will be surprised to see you would be in a better position to do so at a better level, with a better salary and better terms and conditions for yourself. So it is really, I think, the best way to future-proof your career if you are aiming at ambitious growth, or even if you're aiming at becoming perhaps a project manager or a IT freelancer, whatever your level is in your career. I think this applies to you. It's not only for C-level. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
No, I think obviously to be aligned with and being willing to be independent is one thing, and it is not linked to potentially a C-level. But I think what's important here is that for C-level, it might be a new option, because obviously breaking this ceiling for some people and reaching out this C-level is it can be complicated, because the seats and jobs are not so numerous as they could obviously in that area. So might be another way to compensate for the C-level population. But otherwise, I fully agree. The approach is valid for anyone at any stage of the career. Sure. Yeah.
Well, anything you want to add, Florian? Or
Well, I wanted to thank Steph for very insightful feedback. Thank you for what you shared to all of us. Thank you, Rebecca, as well, for your help organizing this webcast. And if you guys have any question, we'll be super happy to answer you. That's why here, as Rebecca said, you have a questionnaire a form to fill if you like to chat with us. Otherwise, you can also contact us on LinkedIn, and I think we covered everything we wanted to cover to Rebecca, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much for all the audience, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll talk soon.
Later. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and I'll see you again maybe next Thursday or the Thursday after that. We'll be sharing on the topic is something we will develop further. So maybe we'll have a second presentation on what it means, maybe at a greater detail. So bear with us. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys. Have a great afternoon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.